everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Carr's Raiders going up against Wilson Seahawks. So let's get you up to CenturyLink Field in Seattle. On the call, here are Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Evergreen State and CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Oakland Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And this will be caught at the 30. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged, because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
Earlier, partner, when discussing Russell Wilson, you said you think he's best when Seattle is running back centric. Is Thomas Rawls the centerpiece going forward there?
I think so, because of what he did 2 seasons ago before he got hurt. Because he runs that offense the way they want it run. One cut, downhill, get upfield, and Thomas Rawls is perfect for that. If he stays healthy, that allows Russell Wilson now to throw the play action, the bootleg passes that really hurt other teams defensively.
And Rawls has youth on his side, just 23. A post to the tight end for 6. Gosh, those guys are so tough to cover, aren't they? Just in general, tight ends running those patterns near the goal line.
Because you have to decide how you want to treat them. Are they a wide receiver? Are they a big extra blocker on the field? Or are they a hybrid and caught in between? So are you going to use a linebacker? Are you going to use a safety? Are you going to even move a corner in if you're going to play nickel or dime defense? They usually win those matchups because they have an answer for all 3 of those positions.
Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run.
Michael Bennett's versatility, being able to play any position along the defensive front, allows him to make those types of plays. He finds good matchups and gets into the offensive backfield.
And there it works for a tackle for loss. 6 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a third down.
That was not a completion that results in a highlight video. But at the same time, if you have those kind of...
And now a fumble. The ball's out. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
From midfield, here's Carr, escaping the pressure right. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
Michael Bennett is one of the best pass-rushing defensive linemen in the game. Normally plays defensive end, but when they go to those nickel packages and he works inside, look out, offensive guards. You've got a problem.
And this is going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end that time, Michael Rivera, and that brings up 4th down.
All right, let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation, they understood what was going on as much as the offensive guys, because the offensive guys always taught find the first down sticks and make the play. Well, on defense, what do you want to do? Guard the first down line. Make sure they don't get there and tackle them in front. They're able to drop in their zone coverage, figure out where the first down line was, and end up making the play, swatting it away so they couldn't get the completion.
On first down, Murray. And not much running room. Down to the 32. For Murray in the wild card game against Houston, just 39 yards on 12 carries. So now you look at the season all told, just under 800 yards, Charles. He did score 12 touchdowns. What'd you think of his year?
I thought it was an excellent year for him, and I know 1,000 yards is the benchmark. But remember, he didn't play in all of the games. And Oakland became a passing-type team with Derek Carr throwing the ball around. But I think Latavius Murray is clearly a #1 running back in the NFL. And with those 3 Pro Bowlers in front and an offensive line, I think the future is bright.
9th play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard. Now a handoff here to his running back. Now the ball comes loose. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline.
And that's caught inside the 30. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 54 yards. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. You know, Charles, for Graham, so much concern early in the season about whether he'd be ready to play this year, what would happen recovering from the tendon. Not only was he ready, he played every game this season for Seattle.
And it wasn't just the injury concern with Jimmy Graham. It's how Seattle runs their offense. Remember, when he was in New Orleans, he could expect a ton of passes to come his way. But in Seattle, that number was going to be reduced. Would he be able to maximize what they were going to throw in his direction? And he certainly did this year, 65 catches.
65 catches, just shy of 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, too. The tight end, Luke Wilson, was the target. That'll bring up 2nd down.
That was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football, worked so hard to get his feet down inbounds, tried to do the toe tap. My dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one.
Is he really, by the way?
That he is.
How about that? What about young Davis?
No, it did not cross.
It didn't carry over.
No, it stopped right there.
A fake to Rawls. Now it's Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
Well, the lost sleep that the defensive coordinator had all week preparing for this game, a good portion of it was trying to prepare for him because he's absolutely a phenomenal player.
And a lot of times around the goal line, they know it's going to him. It's just so hard to stop.
And that's where it really becomes difficult because you're exactly right. They know it's going to him, yet they still can't stop it. That tells you when you're a dominant player.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Two seconds to go, first quarter. Rawls, the lone man in the backfield.
19. Check 15. Check 15.
After the interception, here's Wilson. He's going to look deep down the field. And this one is incomplete. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. And they're going to go soft on the corners. Off the play fake to Rawls. Wilson. He's going to let it go again. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And it's 3rd down.
Well, they decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice. Able to get a hand in and tip it away.
On 3rd down, Wilson. He's going to try and go deep again. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
So on 4th down, as seen on TV, here's their resident strongman, John Ryan, on to punt. Travis Carey back deep for the Raiders. So a change of possession here on the punt, and the Raiders will take possession. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
He gets this one to Michael Crabtree. And for that man, Crabtree just finished his 8th NFL season. Of course, the first 6 in San Fran, last 2 with the Raiders. Barely topped the 1,000-yard mark, but he did 1,003 this season.
It's been interesting to watch the career arc of Michael Crabtree, because you remember when he came out of college, came out of Texas Tech, he was seen as a pure #1 receiver. Many thought he was going to be a future All-Pro. But he settled in as the #2 guy in Oakland, and I think that's been great for him. Taking the pressure off of Amari Cooper and making plays himself.
And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down. They'll try and run with Murray. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and they're able to convert here on 4th and inches.
Wow, that one took some guts.
Murray fighting, lost the football, and some room to work. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And he cuts it out right sideline. Some space here. And they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 yards with a new rule as he's taken down right at the 20-yard line. Raiders offense now. They trot back out. Carr now on first down. Finding time. Letting one fly deep for Cooper. And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down.
The name of the game, as always on defense, put pressure on the quarterback. And that's exactly what they've done today. It looks like they've got him a little bit rattled. That would have been the second interception in the first half.
Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. That one goes for 24 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Roberts the man in motion. Throwing on first down is Carr. This caught. Reception by Holmes. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 17 that time. And it'll give the Raiders a first down. To throw his Carr. This will be caught just inside the 10. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now first and goal. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage, so as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
Again, it's Murray. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain that time, and now it's third and goal. So they tried runs on first and goal and second and goal, got stonewalled. Now from here, they've got to throw, right?
I would think so, and I would think you also maybe want to come up with something different in terms of formation. Maybe spread things out a little bit. Even though you're down near the goal line where things are tight, get it spread out a little bit and try and find some room to operate. So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute.
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Latavius Murray, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Raiders get a score closer. Fourth and goal, Charles, all the time you see those offenses, especially the quarterback, the running back, looking over the sideline saying, don't send the kicker out. There they did it, and it paid off.
It's really nice to see what they wanted actually done. And how about the coaches getting their faith rewarded by a touchdown?
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The drive begins with a run by Rawls. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
In the slot on the right is Graham. On second down, Rawls. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with third down and just a yard to go.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They go play action here on first down. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin.
Well, partner, tough loss for the Seattle Seahawks on the road in Atlanta in the playoffs. But Doug Baldwin, you know he's always going to compete. 5 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Try to keep them in the game.
Earlier, you were talking about the offense running through Russell Wilson. Doug Baldwin and the wideouts. How do you see that going forward for Seattle?
Well, I think that they are well-equipped there. They have to get Tyler Lockett back. He was injured late in the season. But Baldwin is a top-level receiver, finally getting the respect that he deserves. Jermaine Kearse is still around. Obviously, Paul Richardson came on late in the season. They have plenty of targets out there. They may go for one later in the draft, but I don't think it's a priority.
Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
You can feel the anguish all the way up here. It certainly looked like he had that one in the end zone, open, unable to hold on to it.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a loose football. Rawls loses it. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Here's Murray now as they run it to start the drive. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Shedd. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And last time, the fumble to turnover. Now, they still have the lead, but I don't think coaches care. The turnovers will bother them no matter what the scoreboard says.
Yeah, that's the relief, that you still have the lead. But coaches look at what if and what it should be. Turning the ball over when they get a chance to score more points and increase the lead, that's what's going to affect them.
And they're also thinking of future weeks, maybe when the game's closer, right?
No doubt about it. You want to clean up everything. Let's just be honest about it. They want everything to be perfect at all times. They don't want to give up anything that's going to hurt their team.
Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. He'll get the football here. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Partner, I think the easy thing now would be to just abandon the run and start throwing the football at all costs. But I've been in so many games where it doesn't work running the ball. It doesn't work running the ball. And then something pops, and now you get something going. I'm not so sure to just abandon your game plan this early in the second half.
So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. Give him 3 yards there, as that'll take us to 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
Well, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3.
19. Gotta go, in and out.
4th down. Here's Here's Wilson. And this is incomplete. I want to sneak in a note here on the officials while time permits from the Super Bowl game. I know that you had high praise of them. Really, you know they did a good job when no one is talking about them on Monday.
You're exactly right. And, in fact, they're being praised almost universally for getting a couple of calls that were really difficult to make in real time correct. And I'm talking about the Julian Edelman catch. Emphatic.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on fourth, turned it over in their own territory. But the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it. Not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it. Be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
Now we'll see what his offense can do. After the interception, here's Wilson. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that's caught inside the 30. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. It's a big play there for Seattle. 76 yards. And now the offense operates in the red zone. First down and goal. The offense knocked. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Marcel Reese taking it in from 4 yards out. And the interception by the Seahawks D leads to a touchdown. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Oh, how about this call down near the goal line? And he's going to be hit and taken down in the backfield. Just nowhere to run that time. And the try for two is snuffed out. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that's caught. Did he stay in bounds, though? He did not. Ruled incomplete. And on a different topic, don't forget, yes, we had the Super Bowl. Also had the Madden Bowl leading up to the big game. Eric Berry, second year in a row, won that, beating Dak Prescott.
And those guys are really, really competitive in playing those games. So don't think that Eric Berry didn't really enjoy it. But in the, what do they call it, the Madden Major Series?
I call it the non-athlete series.
Well, non-athlete, but way more competitive even than the players playing. How about that championship?
Yeah, Chris W. McFarland beating Eric Problem Wright took home his share of almost $250,000. And by the way, online qualifying now open for the Madden Challenge, the third event of the Madden 17 Championship Series. Should be a lot of fun.
We need to start working on our games. I heard that purse, $250,000.
Your ears perked up a little bit.
Definitely. Let's get to work.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. And it is incomplete. A surprising move to go for it.
Nah, bro, don't quit, bro. Don't quit. I told you we came to play. I told you we came to play. Boy out there laying that lumber. What I'm talking about, man?
Daddy, you want the game? This was supposed to...
I don't know we hit hard. We hit hard.
When you throw the boxes, boy, you come right.